friends. Here we are at this week's project, the Scenic Design Transfer. So what we're going to do is take these two ground plans, use them as a reference, and transfer this scenic design for Campo Maldito to the Mex Theater over here. So you're going to need to download the Mex Theater template. I've already downloaded it and opened it in Vectorworks to save you that time. You'll also download these two ground plans, at least one of them. I'll download this one, throw it over in the corner. And that will let us get started. So I'm going to download that, and there it is. It's in my Adobe Acrobat, which is on another screen. So let's pull this out here. We'll take a look at Campo Maldito. There are also pictures on my website, which I've now linked as well. So you can take a look at the production photos of this show. The basic idea is that we need some sort of a shelf in the background that you can put a coffee maker on and some other office supplies. And then a desk and a table and some chairs, specifically a beanbag chair, okay? So those are the elements that I need you to include in your Campo Maldito drafting, and we're gonna now jump into Vectorworks and look at how we might source these objects using the resource manager, sorry. So here's your theater template for the Mex Theater. We're gonna first come in real quick and turn off the light plot and lighting positions layers because you're not gonna need them until later, and I can turn them all the way off, not just turn them to the shady eyeball. Okay, so here we are. Next step is gonna be to go to the resource manager. So the resource manager, now that you guys are at home and you have like real things, you should have all of these Vectorworks libraries available to you. So if you search up something like a chair, you may not get the 10,000 chairs that I get. I mean, I get 1,960 chairs, but you're gonna get a bunch of them, and you'll be able to choose a chair that makes sense for this office, okay? So if we look at real quick, let me pull up the research images. So here's a research collage, right? It's kind of a tech startup, a little bit of a hip kind of a tech, world. There's chairs that are kind of inexpensive but officey, and then some sort of simple IKEA style tables, basic stuff, okay? And then of course the bean bag, which we'll come back to. So I want you to go to the resource manager, search for the things you're looking for, okay? So search for a table, right? You can choose any table. As long as it feels like it makes sense in this world. These are symbols, okay? So when you search for, here's a good chair. I like this chair. I don't know if you guys have this chair. I have this chair because I pay a lot of money to subscribe to Vectorworks. So once I double click on it, it downloads it through the internet. Wow, amazing. And now it's a symbol in my project. So I can kind of click and angle it in the direction that I want. When I hit Shift-C and move into a 3D view, and yes, very slow, once again, I'm screen recording, life is hard, and move into a 3D view, my chair will eventually show up, right? Fully rendered in 3 dimensions, SLOW, but it's coming, right? So that's your basic idea, right? So go shopping in your resource manager to find the things that we've asked for in this assignment. So if you look back at your agenda for this week, it has a whole list of everything you ever needed to be included in this assignment, right? So if we go over here to, so you need 2 desks, at least 2 chairs, a beanbag chair, a shelving or a table for your coffee maker, an upstage wall, and masking curtains, okay? So you remember how to do walls. You've done walls like all day for the theater drafting that you did. You're gonna add in some curtains. Let me show you where those are. And then the rest of these things are basically things you can find in your resource manager, with the exception of a beanbag chair. There's not a beanbag chair in the resource manager of Vectorworks. So we're gonna get that another way, and that is gonna be via the Google SketchUp Warehouse, okay? So if you type in SketchUp Warehouse, It's going to do it slowly but surely, okay? And then it's going to give you this 3D warehouse for Google SketchUp, okay? This is what is automatically linked for our friends in SketchUp, but for us, we need to search up what we're looking for, like a beanbag chair, okay? Here it comes. Hey, beanbag chair, how you doing? So now I'm just gonna pick a beanbag chair that I like. Maybe not the weird banana one. I don't know, something kind of normal looking. Maybe like this one. When I click on it, it's gonna give me some options about how I want to download it. Oh, I have to sign in. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. We'll sign in, no problem. I'm gonna sign in with the Google. My friend and yours, the Google. Let's just be on my CSArts account for now. I accept the terms, thank you. I just want a beanbag. I like this one, can I have it? All right, so when I click on this download link, it gives me some options. And the one I'm wanting to choose is SketchUp 2017. I know it seems like it's the ancient past, but SketchUp 2017 is one that I'm confident will import easily into Vectorworks. Okay, so it came in as this Untitled 2. I don't actually want to open it. If you're on a PC, it's going to also be in your downloads somewhere. So we're going to just go to the downloads. I'm going to grab it out of there, put it on my desktop so I can find it again. I'm going to call it a beanbag because it is one. So I'm just renaming it right now where you can't see because I'm not in the active window. So I can find it. Otherwise, it's called Untitled 2. You can pick whichever beanbag you like, all right? So now I'm going to show you how to get that into Vectorworks. Get that SketchUp file into Vectorworks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and import. We're going to import SketchUp. We're going to go either navigate to your downloads or to wherever you've stuck your beanbag chair. I put mine on my desktop. I named it beanbag chair. I'm going to open that up. And it's going to take a second. It's going to do a thing. It's going to be like, do you want this? I'm going to be like, yeah, do it. Do your thing. It's going to import. It's going to import. Okay, so now it's in this drawing. I don't know where it is in this drawing because it's on some beanbag layer that I can't see. Oh, here it is. Over here. All right, so this is my beanbag. Cool. I love it. Let's go into that top plan view, our old friend, Command 5. So this is my beanbag. Let's see how big it is. Let me make sure it's not totally crazy sized. Yeah, it's a little big. It's almost 5 feet across. I'm going to make it like 3 feet across. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go into Modify, Scale Objects. This is one of my favorite secrets. So if I use Symmetric by Distance, that second option, I can like clicky, click. And I can come over here. I can click on the other side. And I can say, right now, it's 4'10". I think I just want it to be like 3 foot in diameter. And it scales the whole thing down, so it's a little bit smaller. The other thing I'd like to do while I'm here is turn this into a symbol so I can use it in my Scenic layer. So, because right now I'm on a beanbag layer, and that's not where I want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and create symbol in my Modify. I'm going to call it a beanbag. Great. Put it into this drawing, no problem, cool. Now it's a symbol. The last thing I want you guys all to do is I want you to go in and edit your 2D components of this beanbag chair. And the reason is I want it to have like a 2-dimensional version in your ground plans. I don't want it to look like this like geodesic dome. I want it to look like a simplified version of itself, okay? And this is how 2D drafting works within Vectorworks is I can just draw that circle. Now when I exit, I've converted this symbol into what's called a hybrid symbol. So it has 3D geometry, it also has 2D geometry, and the 2D geometry is what shows up when we're looking at it in like ground plan view. And this lets us clean up our ground plan so it looks like just a circle and you can write beanbag on it and it doesn't look like that mesh when you're looking at it in your ground plan. Okay, so I'm good on this right now. I'm going to just delete it. I don't really need it anymore in this beanbag layer. I really need it back in my scenery layer. So I'm going to double click on scenery. I'm going to use this quick shortcut to get back to the page, right? So if I click up here on this fit to objects magnifying glass, it's going to show the objects that are visible right now. Then I'm going to go into my resource manager and I'm going to grab that beanbag that I had turned into a symbol. It's going to be in my, so this is like every chair that ever existed, but if I go up into my Mex Theater template and I get rid of this whole chair idea and I scroll through here, I'm going to find this beanbag symbol. And then I can double click on it. Now I have this beanbag and I can put it into the set where it belongs. Okay? So that's how you add a beanbag chair to your set. One last thing I'd like you to do, so you're gonna do all of the furniture in that list, you're gonna do a back wall, and then you're gonna come in and add some curtains. And right now, this is like a different, I'm not in our special workspace. Let's go into a friend of our special workspace, the Cal Poly Pomona workspace. Because you'll still have this little spotlighty looking guy. And inside of that are tools that are specific for theater. So those are where you're going to find the soft goods tool. And this is the last thing I want you to know about, right? So you take this soft goods tool. It draws curtains, like squiggly, beautiful curtains for you. So if you just drag this across and you hold shift and you double click, you got a curtain. It says it's 20 feet high. That's not correct. In the space, it should be 15 feet high. And you just draw it in. And there it is. And so I'd love for you, once I've clicked OK, see, there's your curtain. I'd love for you to also draw in some curtains, some masking for the space. Okay, if you want to do a floor, go wild. Then, once you've drafted the whole set in that way, if you still have time today, and I think you should because most of this is just finding things in your resource manager, I would love for you to plate a ground plan for me. And right now there's not a ground plan plate in this file, in this template file that I gave you. So let's figure out how we want to do that. If I go to this light plot drafting, it's on the right size paper. It's a hot mess. It's not what you want, but it's on the right size paper. So we're going to duplicate this layer. Duplicate. We're going to change its name. We have 2020 now, so you can use this little pencil to change its name, and we're going to call it ground plan. It's going to be so good. I also want it to be layer 1, and it's going to say it's already used. And so then I'm going to be like, fine, I'll turn this into, okay, you can be like layer 5 so that I can make this layer 3. This is my real life, you guys. And then I can make this ground plan layer 1 like it was always supposed to be. Okay, great. I'm going to pop it back up to the top above everybody else. And then I'm going to go in. Ooh, I'm drawing lines. Oh, boy. And I'm going to delete all this nonsense off of this ground plan. I don't really love this title block, but we're going to let it go for right now because we just don't have time to make it better. Not today. If you wanted to use my like Scenic Design Arch D, if you got it, like go for it. It might be better. Let's see. No, it's worse. There's nothing there. Great. So we're just gonna live with this weird title block. It's cool. Let's go back now that we have this ground plan layer set up. Let's go back to our scenery layer. I'm gonna assume you've drawn more stuff than this. And then I'd love for you to create a viewport, file, create viewport. Beautiful, goes on the ground plan, is called the ground plan. I love, it's moving, it's flying through the air over to the ground plan view. Beautiful, thank you. You could probably squeeze it out as like a 1/2 inch if you wanted to, if you want to go bigger, go home. Yeah, totally fits, that's awesome. So then what I'd love for you to do, this is like getting that 6, is to go in and label things in the annotations on this viewport and also submit a PDF of this layer. If all you get to is drafting in the set and submitting the Vectorworks file, totally cool, bro. If you're able to get a ground plan with a PDF exported, amazing. That would be fantastic. And I'd love to have that also. So that is the task for today. And hit me up if you have questions. I'm obviously going to be chilling on the Zoom, helping out however I can. Okay? Thanks, you guys. See you next time.